He was found guilty of murder and will spend 70 years behind bars. It is the latest trial that has a lot of people talking. Erica Hernandez covered the case, and she will join us to answer some of the viewer questions she has received about this story.
Plus, our return to class coverage continues this morning with a look at a new program in Somerset that school officials hope keeps students safe getting to and from school.
And it may be August, but we are already thinking about the holidays. We're going to speak with the artistic director for the Children's Nutcracker about open auditions they're having next week for this year's performance.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning. It is Friday, August 19th.
Happy Friday. Thanks for joining us. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Hope you got some rain maybe earlier in the week, but if not, maybe this weekend or next week.
Justin spent the morning tracking some storms well to our west, and we get an update now as we approach the 9 o'clock hour. Justin joins us live.
Yeah, not much out there around San Antonio right now. Just some cloud cover. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot over the next few hours. By the afternoon, possibility for a few more showers and storms, and a lot of us missed out on the rain yesterday. There is an opportunity today, and if you don't get rain today, more opportunities down the line. So that's the good news. You look at the live radar right now. We had some very heavy rain over the hill country this morning. Places like Lakey down towards Concan picked up some very good rain right over the Frio River. So we'll see if that starts flowing a little bit better. We've also got some showers and storms up around Austin. Most of this is starting to die down, and as I mentioned, we'll probably see a little bit of a lull. Here's some of the weather headlines as we look at the time lapse here. It's been a cloudy morning to start. Now we're starting to see more sun. But we were surrounded. Rainfall adds up in spots, just not here in San Antonio. We'll take a look at those rainfall totals. Another chance for isolated showers and storms today, as we said, and a wet pattern is setting up next week. We could see some spots with some heavy rain. 82 degrees right now. Partly cloudy skies. Dew point is at 73 and it feels like 87. We're going to walk you through that forecast, talk about our rain chances coming up. That's here in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. A quick look at the roads with TransGuide looking over at Loop 410 and Culebra Road. Looks like there's a situation out there that we do have a fire truck. It looks like that might be right in front of Paul Taylor Fieldhouse. But right now, all the lanes are moving just kind of slow right now, so you might want to just slow down when you get to that area.
Here's a look at today's 9 at 9.
The judge who authorized the FBI search of former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate is now hinting at a possibility of unsealing a redacted version of that affidavit. The document could shed some light on the criminal investigation that led agents to Trump's home. The Department of Justice has until next Thursday to file its proposed redactions, and then the judge will decide whether to unseal the affidavit.
In Ukraine, gunfire is reported dangerously close to a Russian-held nuclear power plant. It comes after an ominous warning from Ukraine's military intelligence saying plant workers were told to stay home today because the facility could be the target of an impending attack.
A health alert this morning after 2 people in Florida recently died of a rare bacterial infection linked to eating raw oysters. Health officials say raw oysters can contain Vibrio bacteria found in warm seawater. Now, the CDC points out that an oyster that contains this dangerous bacteria doesn't look, smell, or even taste any different from any other oysters. And the only way to kill possible bacteria is to fully cook oysters.
For the first time since early March, diesel prices are below $5. The national average for a gallon fell to $4.99 yesterday, according to AAA. That's an 82-cent decrease since last month. Regular gas prices also continue to fall. In San Antonio, the average price is about $3.35 a gallon. This is the 65th consecutive day of lower prices at the pump.
Apple is now warning about some security flaws in iPhones, iPads, and Macs that could open the door for attackers to take over the devices. The advice from experts is to make sure all your technology is updated to plug in the holes.
The FDA has issued its first warning letter for the marketing of illegal flavored nicotine gummies. The agency says the gummies are concerning because they resemble kid-friendly candy. Officials say nicotine gummies are, quote, a public health crisis just waiting to happen among our nation's youth, particularly as we head into a new school year, end quote.
Children will have access to the new COVID-19 booster shots coming this fall. The FDA says updated boosters to protect from the BA4 and BA5 strains of the virus will be available by early to mid-September. There will be doses for adults and children, but they have not said what ages would be eligible for the boosters.
The Biden administration announcing a change to give millions of children access to mental and physical health services at school. The guidance makes it clear schools can use Medicaid dollars to hire more school counselors, nurses, and social workers who could treat all students, not just the ones that get their health care through Medicaid and the Children's Health Insurance Program, or CHIP.
Home sales are slipping again. Higher mortgage rates and prices that are still near record levels are helping to push existing home sales in July down nearly 6% compared to the month before and down more than 20% compared to a year ago. That's according to the National Association of Realtors. And that's today's 9 at 9.
Top stories we're following this morning. San Antonio police say a man turned the table on 3 would-be robbers, shooting and killing one of them. Around 3:30 this morning, a man was heading to his apartment on Culebra near Ingram when officers say 3 men jumped out of a Toyota Prius with weapons, ran at him, and tried to rob him.
And we were told that's when the man pulled out a gun and shot one of the suspects in the neck. The other 2 suspects ran away. The injured suspect was taken to the hospital but later died from his injury. Police say the man who shot the suspect most likely will not face charges, but they are still investigating.
And a man is dead after he was hit by a train on the south side. This happened around 2:30 this morning on West Hutchins, not far from South Zarzamora. Police say the man was standing on the tracks and the engineer could not stop in time.
And earlier this week, a trial came to an end for a man who brutally attacked a woman in 2020 with a machete and an axe. That trial ended with Rafael Castillo being sentenced to 70 years behind bars. Throughout the trial, our court reporter Erica Hernandez kept getting viewer questions about this case, and she's joining us now live in the studio to answer a couple of those questions. Good morning, Erica.
Good morning, guys.
First of all, this had to be a tough trial to cover.
It really was. I mean, they're not easy to hear, any of the details, but I felt like as we went on, the details in this particular case got worse and worse. And not only seeing it, but hearing it, it was a very graphic and intense trial for all involved and who had to take the stand in this case. And like I said, it's tough to hear and also see some of the stuff that's presented in court.
And there were 2 things that you got asked over and over in this trial. The first was how Rafael Castillo was able to be out on bond.
So I'm not like a legal expert by any means. I just cover court. So I did reach out to a couple of judges to get some answers on some of these questions. And as I was told, as far as this question, everybody is allowed a right to have a bond. People, I think, forget, despite the gruesomeness of a crime, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. So everybody gets established a bond, whether how high or how low it is, it's up to a judge. It was $500,000 for him, which means he got out at $50,000. But he was under house arrest the entire time. He wasn't even allowed to go to church. He had to remain in his home during that entire time that he was out on bond.
And the second most asked question was, why wasn't the death penalty an option in this case?
Another thing, yes, the facts of this case were very gruesome and very horrific. But for this particular case, it wasn't a capital murder. You could only be given the death penalty if you're charged capital murder, and you can only get that charge if you commit another crime in the act of a murder, or if you kill a police officer, or you kill multiple people. So I think sometimes, yes, these, like I said, these details were graphic. Most people were like, how can this guy be out on bond? How can he not face the death penalty? But lawyers, the DA, everybody still has to follow the laws, and those are just the laws here in Texas.
That's right. Well, you've been busy over there. What's next at the courthouse?
So there's several things coming up. One, next week we'll be live streaming the trial of Michelle Barrientos Vela. I will not be covering that. Dylan will be covering that. The story has been following along for years. So we'll have that. There is a potential another murder trial next week expected to take place. I will probably cover that. And then later down the line, we just got word earlier this week on Wednesday that a big murder trial out of Laredo will be moved here to Bexar County this fall. That's going to be a long one. This is for Juan David Ortiz, the Border Patrol agent who's alleged to have killed 4 women. So that's going to be pretty much take up all of October and November later this year. So we'll be very busy this fall.
Yes, you will. All right, court reporter Erica Hernandez, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good to see you. Right now, it's 9:07, about 81 degrees. Still ahead on GMSA at 9.
The city is in need of staff for its homeless street outreach program. We're going to take a ride along with one of the coordinators to see what exactly their job entails as they try to recruit people. Plus,
coming up next, the holiday season wouldn't be complete without the Nutcracker. We have audition details of the Children's Nutcracker 2022.
9/11 is one of the most beloved traditions kicking off the holiday season each year, the Nutcracker Ballet.
So auditions are already being held next week for this year's children's Nutcracker performance and making sugar plum dreams come true for young performers.
Tiffany Huertas joins us live at the Dance Center of San Antonio with details on this open audition. Good morning, Tiffany.
Good morning. We are in the holiday spirit this morning. The costumes, the spirit, everything is on point today. These young performers will get a chance to train with some of the best dancers in the industry, including Vanessa Bessler, founder of the Children's Ballet of San Antonio. Good morning, Vanessa. Talk to us about the auditions. What are you all looking for?
We are so excited. This Saturday, August 27, at the Dance Center of San Antonio building, the Children's Ballet of San Antonio will be having the Children's Nutcracker auditions. We are so excited, and we're looking for all the talent in the community. We are a fully inclusive organization, so the casting will have all the skills levels, including artists with disabilities, which everybody brings so much goodness and talent to the productions, and it's very important for us to have everyone out there that have a special talent that come and join us. But it's not just ballet. We have a whole productions that include singers, musicians, ballet, hip hop, folklorico, tap, and many other disciplines because we try to highlight all the talent of our wonderful San Antonio.
So you won't find this Nutcracker anywhere else, just here in San Antonio. That's why it's so unique. Talk to us about the different skills that these students will also learn.
Yes, our Nutcracker is so special because we look for elements that appeal specifically to the San Antonio community, like we incorporate the folklorico that is very popular in San Antonio, and other elements that we are familiar with the Christmas in San Antonio. But also the dancers learn not just dancing skills, but also leadership, confidence, discipline, and they create so many friendships through the rehearsals and the Nutcracker season. It's just so beautiful to see coming together and having a big family performing on a stage by the time shows comes.
How are you feeling about this year's Nutcracker show?
I'm so excited because there is so many surprises, and we have our incredible choreographers and group of staff of the Children's Ballet of San Antonio, but also we have international renowned directors and choreographers that are coming to work with the artists through this season.
Where can people find out more information?
For more information, please follow us in social media, Children's Ballet of San Antonio, or go to our website, www.childrensballetofsanantonio.org.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And can we just show the tiniest, beautiful dancer right there in the back? You cannot miss this. This is a great opportunity. Everyone did incredible this morning. We're going to have all those details on the noon show and on KSAT.com. Back to you guys in the studio.
Looks like fun.
I know. So cute. The little one in the background.
And it will be the holidays before we know it.
I know. It's going by super fast.
At 9:14, it is Friday. Glad you're with us. Justin's here. And I know farmers and ranchers have been waiting all summer to hear this kind of news, Justin.
Yeah, we're finally getting a pattern shift. We finally have some rain back in the forecast. And I know a lot of people didn't see the rain they hoped for yesterday. It was kind of all around San Antonio. But we have some more opportunities ahead, some isolated showers and storms today, and then down the line. Next week's looking promising. As we look at the live radar right now, there's not a lot out there. We had some heavy rain this morning across parts of the hill country, prompted some flash flood warnings earlier around Lakey. Those have since expired, and the rain has pretty much gone away at this point. Still some showers and storms up around the Austin area. Those two are starting to fade away. Not a lot of lightning strikes with those, and that likely will be gone here within the hour. But by the afternoon, once we get some heating, we should see more showers and storms developing around the area, and hopefully we do get some here in San Antonio. There's a look at the rainfall yesterday. Again, it was all around us, just not here. Uvalde picked up a little bit. Lakey was the big winner, 2.26. That's as of this morning. Kerrville, about 3/600ths of an inch. Blanco, San Marcos, Gonzales, Cuero, even south of San Antonio picked up a little bit of rain, but nothing at the airport. We had one little shower over the northeast side, and that was it yesterday as that outflow boundary came through. Here is the scene outside right now. We've got partly cloudy skies, 82 degrees at the airport, 81 Stinson, 81 Kelly. Not a lot of wind out there. We're not expecting gusty winds today, and temperatures already starting to warm up. 82 again at the airport, 81 Pleasanton, You have 70s in the hill country, and it will be a little bit cooler up there today with some added clouds and a little better chance for rain. 81 down in Pleasanton, 82 right now in Devine, and high temperatures today should be right around 95 here in town. I mentioned the cooler temperatures, maybe some 80s on the map, which sounds pretty nice at this point up across the hill country, and then you'll find warmer readings down to the south, as high as 97 in Pleasanton later today. Here's the big picture, and you can see showers and storms stretch from Houston to the Austin area and then back out towards West Texas. Houston got a ton of rain yesterday along that frontal boundary, which is still there, but it's starting to wash out some. And that's why, again, we have at least the potential for a few more isolated showers and storms today. Let's fast forward to noontime. Still not much there, but by 2 o'clock, we'll start to see a couple of isolated storms popping up. 30% chance here in town. And by the afternoon, evening commute, there could be some rain around. Some of these could produce some heavy rain too, so that's something we'll watch. By 8 p.m., still the potential for some showers and storms. I think by 10 o'clock, though, with the loss of daytime heating, a lot of this will start to go away. Let's turn to the tropics now. That system we've been tracking last couple of days starting to emerge out into the Gulf of Mexico. And notice as it does, we're already getting some deep convection here, showers and storms. This does have a chance to develop. The Hurricane Center is giving us about a 40% chance of development here next 2 days. But it's running out of real estate. Likely goes into Mexico and then takes a hard left here. It will throw some moisture in our direction, and I think by next week, that tropical moisture combined with some disturbances, well, it looks good for rain chances. We're encouraged here. 30% chance today, just a 10% chance tomorrow. The weekend actually looks pretty quiet. 95 Saturday, 94 Sunday. But next week, I think by Tuesday and Wednesday, if everything comes together like it should, then we'll have some decent rain chances. We may be able to up those rain chances you see there. And there is also a threat for some heavy rain. We'll be watching for that Tuesday and Wednesday. And as we get closer, we'll be able to refine some of those details. But it looks promising, and temperatures potentially could be in the 80s on Wednesday.
Would it be nice to turn the sprinklers off for a couple weeks?
It'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
My pocketbook would appreciate that.
Yes, we all would. Thank you, Justin.
Right now we're at 918, 82 degrees.
And coming up after the break, a look at your morning headlines, including an update on the little leaguer who suffered serious injuries after falling from a bunk bed.
Plus, crazy chase and shootout with police caught on camera. Details when we come back. In your morning headlines, Las Vegas police have new information on a dangerous police chase with an armed carjacker. They released body cam video this week that shows a wild pursuit and shootout. We've also got aerial footage here. A man identified as Justin Venegas ran his truck head-on into a police canine unit, injuring the officer and his dog. This came after police say he led them on a crosstown car chase where he fired at officers while driving. Luckily, no one was hit. During the chase, police say Venegas tried multiple times to carjack people at gunpoint. He's facing a laundry list of felony charges, including 3 counts of attempted murder.
This type of evil that exists out there, and bravery is one way to put it. It's they suit up every day and go out there, and this is what they deal with. There's no other way to put it.
The officer hit in the crash was taken to a local hospital and will recover at home. The canine in the crash is also okay.
And shoppers at a Boston area mall got an eyeful yesterday when they saw an SUV inside the mall driving down the second level. Now, police say an elderly woman somehow drove her SUV down a pedestrian bridge and through automatic doors leading inside the mall. A recent accident knocked out a safety barrier in front of the doors, and that allowed the SUV to pass through them. Officers say that she made it about 60 yards into the mall. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Bystanders were more than shocked to see someone driving down the walkway on the second floor.
I started hearing somebody screaming, "Stop, stop, stop, stop." She just kind of was sitting there kind of bewildered. So yeah, I'd say she was confused, elderly, confused.
And police say the elderly driver was taken to the hospital for an evaluation. They also say that safety barrier in front of the automatic doors will be replaced as soon as possible.
Most electric vehicles have a virtually silent engine. There isn't really one, but Dodge says its future electric muscle cars will mimic some of the same sounds and sensations of those old gas-powered classics. Dodge unveiled its new electric Charger Daytona SRT concept muscle car this week. Looks pretty good. The loud noises will be made by air pulses that can vary in speed and force depending on the car's speed and rate of acceleration. The new version will also have loud exhaust pipes and a transmission that shifts gears. Dodge officials say production of the current gas-powered Charger and Challenger muscle cars is actually ending next year.
The Little League player who fractured his skull when he fell out of a bunk bed earlier this week is now out of the ICU. 12-year-old Easton Ulverson had traveled with his baseball team from Utah to Pennsylvania for the Little League World Series. On Monday, he had to have surgery and was put in a medically induced coma, but he's made significant strides since then. He's able to stand up and even took 2 steps with support.
Do you feel like it's going the right way, or does it feel like it's getting stuck?
It was so heart-wrenching and couldn't believe what we had just experienced hours before, living the highs of highs, and now having to feel like Easton is now fighting for his life.
He's making tremendous strides toward recovery, and we're expecting him to have a really near complete or complete recovery. We're all so happy.
And Easton's brother, Brogan, is filling in for him at the World Series. His team is set to play their first game today.
Easton, we're pulling for you, and it's remarkable. It did not look good at first.
No, it didn't. I'm glad he's doing a little bit better.
9:25, about 83 degrees. There's more ahead on GMSA at 9.
Including more of our return to class coverage as we get a look at Northside ISD's newest high school on the far northwest side. Plus,
coming up next, a local school district is rolling out new technology that will allow parents to track their child's bus. Officials explain the impact they hope it has.
Our return to class coverage continues as another round of first days of school takes place next week.
Northside, Southwest, and Somerset ISDs all begin the new school year on Monday, while Comal and New Braunfels ISD begin classes on Tuesday.
Over in Somerset, the district is launching a new program aimed at keeping students safe to and from school.
The technology allows parents to know where their child is at all times while on the school bus. Tiffany Huertas explains how that program works.
Sometimes parents work out of Somerset area, so they're able to keep track. Okay, my child has arrived at the campus, so they have peace of mind that they've made it to the campus.
Somerset ISD is launching a new tracking system on their buses.
It's a GPS that's put into a hard drive into all of the buses that we use on our transportation facility.
Transportation supervisor Elizabeth Hernandez says students will scan an ID card as they get on and off the bus. Drivers will use a tablet to see how many students have boarded the bus.
It provides a photo of the student, so there's no problem where someone else swiped the incorrect card or somebody else's card. They're able to make that connection. Okay, this person is the correct person. This is the person that I am going to drop off at this address.
Through an app called Unite GPS, parents can see where their child is. Back at the district's transportation facility, school officials are tracking the buses. This monitor shows where the buses are at all times. A district official says they used about $130,000 from their stimulus funds for this program. The new system will also monitor other things.
At fueling, mileage, we're able to pull up reports.
Somerset parent Melissa Foz is excited about this new program. Her kids ride the bus for field trips and football games.
Especially on those events that I'm not able to attend. Now knowing how far they are before they get to the school, that'll give me, better peace of mind.
Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
And like we just mentioned, students part of Comal and New Braunfels ISD will return to school on Tuesday. And one parent there is taking school safety into his own hands. Now, the shooting at Robb Elementary in New Valley made him get serious about coming up with his own safety plan. And right now, Comal ISD has 15 school resource officers and New Braunfels ISD has 5. Now, some don't think this is sufficient when it comes to protecting kids from an active shooter, which is why there is a proposal to have an outside trained armed guardian on every Comal and New Braunfels ISD campus.
We won't interfere in policy enforcement, dress code. That's not what we'll be doing. Everybody will know that that guardian is there to guard children in the event that the absolute worst happens.
Organizers say at this point neither district is picking up the Guardian program proposal.
Well, back here in San Antonio, Northside ISD is set to open its 12th high school, and classes start coming up on Monday. Sonia Sotomayor High School is located on the far west side near Culebra and Galm Road. RJ Marquez got a firsthand look at the new high school that was built to keep up with growing population in that part of San Antonio. He tells us what students and staff can expect the first year of this brand new campus.
Crews are hard at work getting the newest high school in the Northside School District ready for students and teachers.
So I'm just excited for them to come in and build those solid, solid foundation and those traditions.
Sonia Sotomayor High School was part of the 2018 Northside ISD bond. It will pull students mostly from Harlan and O'Connor high schools in one of the fastest growing areas in San Antonio.
There is a lot of subdivisions going up right next to our area here, and obviously another apartment complex off of 1560. So I do expect that our numbers will go up in enrollment.
Sotomayor will be the third high school in NISD to have a security lobby at the front entrance. The lobby is bullet resistant and automatically locks in the morning before classes start.
No one comes into the campus without our permission. So that being said, we also have 2 officers, full-time officers on campus.
Approximately 1,700 students will be walking through the doors here at Sotomayor High School when school starts on August 22nd. This campus was built on 75 acres of land, making it already one of the largest in Northside ISD. There will be no senior students this year, but the school will offer the same programs as others in the district.
We will have all the advanced courses, AP courses, dual classes, on-ramp classes, and so we will be able to, honor all those courses for our kids.
But what makes Sotomayor different will be a focus on renewable energy for incoming freshmen.
The first course is the entry level to renewable energy, robotics, and also engineering.
And the new high school is nearly fully staffed with a few positions that will be filled by substitute teachers to start the year.
Every teacher that we hired is highly qualified, and I'm excited. They all invested the time over the summer to come in.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
And looking outside with live cam this morning, 83 degrees. We are warming up, but we won't be warming up to triple digits, hopefully.
Yesterday we got close. Today we don't think so. Today should be a little bit cooler. Yesterday we did get up to 99 before some of those storms moved in. So we're still stuck at 58 days at 100 degrees or above. And that's okay. I don't know that we'll catch 2009. We still have some more opportunities. I mean, it can still get into the triple digits in September, but we're not going to be doing it anytime soon, it appears, as temperatures are expected to stay sub 100 throughout the 7-day forecast. As we look at the radar and satellite, we've got clouds across the hill country, a few clouds here around San Antonio, and then rain is generally staying off to our north and east and well off to our east around the Houston area this morning. We could see some isolated showers or storms pop up later today. As we look at the big picture, rain stretches from Houston up to New Orleans and back up towards the Atlanta area, and then the monsoon in full effect out across the west. That could result in some flooding in places like Phoenix and Tucson a little bit later today. Rain chances here locally, 30% this afternoon. Those rain chances drop off over the weekend, but pick back up next week, where we could see a pretty active pattern. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Quick check of TransGuide right now at Traffic Authority coverage. And about 35 minutes ago, we showed you an accident at 410 at Culebra. Thankfully, that is clear. Traffic looked great at I-37 in Houston. There's 410 at Cherry Ridge.
And the battle over Bandera Road and the traffic troubles associated with it are something residents in that area are far too familiar with. But a draft plan aimed at reducing congestion between Loop 410 and 1604 is stirring up controversy, mostly among homeowners. Patty Santos spoke with some neighbors along Bandera Road and their fears on how the plan would affect their homes.
A major road will run right through here.
Homeowners along Bandera Road are worried about what they're reading on this map.
I saw the map of where the road would come straight down our property line.
It's part of a 133-page draft of the latest Bandera Road corridor plan. The city of San Antonio and TxDOT want to turn it into a parkway.
It is a plan that advances multimodalism or the ability for folks using any means of transportation to really be able to use Bandera Road, from having enhanced sidewalks to multi-purpose paths to being able to have greater access to the greenways and the connections for community amenities along Bandera Road.
Part of the draft plan also includes other possible ideas on how to relieve congestion that could include creating or extending new roads in residential areas.
You can't address issues of a corridor or roadway without looking at the network.
Those details are not sitting well with several homeowners associations.
What I'm concerned about too is that they're going to pit neighbor against neighbor. They're putting it out there that we can do this, this, or this, but nobody really wins in this case.
The city reminds residents this is just a draft.
There's a lot of good work in this plan, and if an element in there that may be difficult or infeasible or may require further study, and it's just not timely, we can remove it so that we can stay focused on ultimately what the key issues are along Bandera Road.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
And discussions between District 7 staff members and homeowner associations resulted in a temporary compromise of leaving residential areas out of the plan. However, Councilmember Ana Sandoval says public input is critical and taxpayers need to be vocal. The city will host a meeting on Wednesday evening to discuss that plan.
In other news, the city's homeless street outreach team has been struggling with hiring and retaining staff. The team has 10 district coordinator positions plus another for downtown that's never been filled. And it's been hard at times to keep the other roles filled as well. Our Garrett Berger took a ride along with one of the outreach coordinators and his manager to see what the job entails.
Hello. Hey, how you doing? It's Trez from the city.
Week after week, Trez Scipio hits the streets, woods, and tunnels of Council District 8 on the far northwest side, running into new and familiar faces.
Last time I met him, he said he was God. Today, he's not God. So I'm like, okay, so now that you're not God, would you like some assistance? I guess the first question, are you interested in getting off the street?
For him, the job's about meeting the needs of a person at that point, whether it's helping them out with a few basics, connecting them to ID recovery services, encouraging them to pursue education, or getting them into rehab.
All of these things which are necessary to get a person literally out of the ditch and into, hopefully, on that path of housing.
It's tough work, though, and the city says 5 outreach workers have resigned since the team started, including one whose last day is next week. Once he goes, there will be 4 vacancies out of 11 positions.
Our goal is, of course, to have all the districts full at all times, but we know, things happen and folks find other opportunities and they move on, and we're okay with that.
Judgrum hopes that the proposed pay bumps of at least 7% for city employees in the proposed budget do help with hiring. But the city is already working to fill the vacancies.
One position, she said, has been tentatively accepted. The other 3 have offers extended too. But Scipio says there also needs to be more housing and wraparound services to make sure there's somewhere for folks to go after the team helps them get off the streets, plus programs to help them with good jobs.
In order to be able to get a person from where they are to where they where they need to go or where they want to go, it's going to take change. The person has to change, the system has to change.
Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
9:39, about 83 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
After the break, a story that might make you lose your appetite. What we found when we went behind the kitchen door at some restaurants here in San Antonio during a recent health inspection.
Moldy cheese and dirty soda fountains, plus a buffet with a smorgasbord of problems.
Those are just some of the health violations inspectors found during recent inspections of local restaurants.
Tim Gerber shares what he found when he went behind the kitchen door.
Grand Buffet, located in the 600 block of Southwest Military Drive, earned a 78 on their recent inspection, and the violations cited by the inspector were almost as numerous as the food options on the menu. When I stopped in this week, I was told there was no one there to answer my questions.
There's no manager here?
The report states kitchen staff began cleaning when the inspector arrived, but the cooks did not wash their hands before returning to handling food. A box of celery and cabbage was wilted and browning with a black residue. It was thrown out. A box of potatoes had a mold-like substance, and the jalapenos had signs of rot. The meat cutter had dead roaches and dust on it. There were live roaches in the kitchen and even more dead roaches throughout the business. There were also flies in the kitchen, and even a live pigeon was flying around inside the restaurant. The ice machine was also soiled with a black residue. Village number 1 in the 1500 block of New Braunfels earned a 79. There was a backup of sewage in the food prep area caused by faulty plumbing. The report states the floor floods when the sinks are turned on. Raw meat was stored above loaves of bread and baked goods, and there was also an unapproved barbecue pit outside. Finally, this Circle K on AT&T Center Parkway earned an 81. They had moldy cheese that was more than a month past the discard date. It was tossed out. There was a mold-like substance on the soda machines. multiple fruit flies in the food prep area, and a multitasking employee was caught eating a sandwich while preparing food for customers. Tim Gerber, KSAT 12 News.
And taking a look outside with live cam, we are at 83 degrees right now. Looking forward to having some rain, although there might be some serious rain next week.
Well, that's the hope. We don't want flooding or anything like that, but some good, steady rain would be great to chip away at this drought that we have underway. There's still some details to be worked out, but the next week is looking promising for rain. We were hoping that yesterday would pan out, and we got an outflow boundary through. This was about 4:45 yesterday. You see the outflow boundary coming through. There was some tried to develop, these clouds did, some showers and storms, but they just didn't quite materialize. We had a Sears deck overhead, didn't really help us, and so San Antonio missed out by and large. And we showed you earlier the rainfall totals. A lot of the area around San Antonio did pretty well, but not here in town. 82 degrees currently, southerly winds at about 7 miles per hour. And the satellite picture shows that we have clouds off to our north and east, some showers and storms up around Austin, a lot of activity over towards Houston. And I'll also point out, you see a little spin right here. This is what helped to develop the showers and storms a little bit earlier that persisted this morning across the hill country. That little spin may help to create more showers and storms later today. It's not moving a whole lot, but we'll watch that as well. So there's a couple different factors that could play into some isolated storms later this afternoon. Here in San Antonio, we're looking at mostly clear skies. 82 degrees right now, 81 Boulevard, 80 Canyon Lake, 81 in New Braunfels, and it is 83 and mostly sunny in Gonzales. Dew points are in the mid-70s. Humidity has not gone anywhere. It won't go anywhere. We're going to see humid conditions over the weekend and certainly into next week. Heat index forecast today. Temperatures only make it up to about 95, but it will feel hotter than that. 101 potentially for that heat index, say around 4 o'clock. So yes, it's still hot. Not as hot as yesterday. And you see all these showers and storms lining up along a weak frontal boundary, which is still there, but kind of washing out, really retreating back to the north. Still, I think it helps to create some of that activity later today. It's still there, and hopefully we get some rain back here around San Antonio. Meantime, there's some heavy rain right along the coast, Houston over towards Beaumont this morning. Here's what our forecast looks like. And by midday, not showing a whole lot. But by 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, we'll start to put in a 30% chance of rain. It'll be hit or miss spotty activity, but it continues through about 5 p.m., even going into this evening, still looking at a few showers and storms before everything dies down tonight with the loss of daytime heating. Your KSAT 12-hour forecast, 88 degrees noontime. We're at 91 o'clock, and we're up around 95, as I mentioned, for high. 30% chance of rain. We'll say 3 p.m. Through about 8 p.m., and you'll have a light southeasterly wind anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Could see some gustier winds with any storms that develop. In the tropics, we've been watching this system that has been moving north pretty quickly. It is now back out into the Gulf of Mexico, and it is looking a little bit better, starting to see more thunderstorm activity. There is a small window for this to develop into something tropical, and it very well may. The Hurricane Center is giving it a 40% chance of development, but the computer models continue to want to take this into Mexico. It would not have any direct impact on us other than maybe throwing some moisture in our direction. So that doesn't look to be a big issue. 95 degrees tomorrow, 10% chance of rain, 94 Sunday, 20% chance of rain. And then next week, as I said, it becomes a little more unsettled. We'll have some deep moisture in place. And if the disturbances time out right, we should get some showers and storms, especially Tuesday and Wednesday. Those are kind of the days I'm looking at for heavy rain potentially. And it's not just us. It looks like a large portion of the state could see some rain during this period, which is a fantastic thing considering we're all in drought here in the Lone Star State.
Yes, that would be a good thing.
Yep.
Thank you, Justin.
About 10 till 10, 84 degrees.
And when we come back,
Actor Idris Elba's fought plenty of big screen battles, but nothing quite like this.
CNN's David Daniel gives us a look at the actor's latest role in the new movie Beast, which comes out today.
In the car, being attacked by a lion. So you would be in the perspective, like you went through a visceral experience yourself of being on a savannah and having this experience. That was the most important for me.
From the early onset, he was like, Idris, I don't want to shoot this in a studio. I don't want to green screen this. I want to take us there.
There were times we'd rehearse for the whole day and then do the 7-minute take, 3 or 4 times as the sun was going down, and then that was that.
The lion is CGI, but producer Will Packer says rogue lions are very real.
We want very clearly to say this is a man-made phenomenon. This idea of rogue lions actually happens whenever you have an alpha male that is separated from its pride, which typically happens because of poaching.
Where did he go?
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
From films on the big screen to NFL games all weekend long. It is week 2 of the preseason, and there's action all weekend starting tonight. Texans facing the Rams in LA. Tomorrow, the Cowboys at the Chargers at 9 p.m. And speaking of football,
a week from tomorrow is the big day, the KSAT Pigskin Classic. It's going to be a full day of football, and you can see the schedule right now on your screen. So you can buy tickets now at any Las Palapas location in San Antonio. But starting on Monday, you can actually buy your ticket over at the Alamo Dome.
Tickets are $15 each, and they're good for one game or all three. So just hang out with us all day long. You can also watch all 3 games live right here on KSAT 12. All this information and much more is on KSAT.com, or don't forget to download the Big Game Coverage app. Justin.
All right, temperatures in the mid-80s right now. We're up around 95 degrees today. We'll watch the radar for you. We could get some isolated showers and storms going. Have that KSAT weather app with you. It'll keep you updated, and we'll send out some push alerts and let you know if anything's going on. Otherwise, this weekend should be fairly quiet. We'll see a little more moisture on Sunday. That means a little extra cloud cover. And then next week, that's when things can get a little more active. Looks like rain chances will be fairly high Tuesday and Wednesday as we get some deep tropical moisture in here. Maybe we'll get to raise those rain chances a little bit. Meteorologist Adam Caskey is going to have more this evening, and we'll also see it coming up at noon, and we'll be updating the forecast throughout the day.
While we need the rain again, we're trying to hope that we don't have any flash flooding around here.
Yes.
Well, see, that's the other side of it, and hopefully it is just a good soaking rain and we don't get the flooding, but that does happen around here. We go through droughts, and then it
then we get a lot.
All comes at once.
Well, we've got you covered if and when it does happen.
Yeah, but hopefully you just have a great weekend for now. Thank you for joining us today.
All right, have a good one. We'll see you back here Monday morning for GMSA at 9.